What's up, guys? You're watching Spectre React, your favorite channel for reviews, reactions, and theories. Today, we're reviewing the animated series Invincible. Here we go.
All right, so this show was very different from the other superhero cartoons that I've seen in my time, and I want to say I was pleasantly surprised in some areas and not so pleasantly surprised in other areas. Let's just start with what happened to build up the story. Season 1, Episode 1, it immediately hooks us because at the end, spoilers, the Superman-esque character who's named Omni-Man kills the entire Justice League, like the Justice League of this reality. And then for the entire series, we're basically just left pondering why he did it. And here's where I'm kind of, not as excited about this show, is just that every week I would tune in and I would hope to see something new, and I really wouldn't see anything new. So I don't know. Did you feel the same way?
I thought that, yeah, the show was filled with a lot of filler, especially from episodes 3 to about the finale. Honestly, the show would have worked better if they had made it like a mini-series, just consisting of episodes 1, 2, and the finale.
Or even a movie, honestly. Like exactly. Imagine a movie with just one, two, and finale, or even with one in finale. I think that even would have been just a more enjoyable experience for me because I didn't care about you came for the answers and you left with a bunch of other knowledge about this world, I guess, but I didn't feel like there was enough progress week to week about what was going on.
And the reason was pretty lame. Like, he wanted to, like, just kill them so he could weaken the planet and bring in his boys to invade it. Like, really? It's pretty cliche, right?
It's been played out a few times. I'm not gonna say I hated the story, but I will say that, I have heard it before, and it was almost like, imagine if, and I always say this and people get like really confused when I say this, but imagine if Thanos didn't have a nutsack chin and wasn't purple and just was Superman-esque, and then they actually went through with their genocide, and instead of wiping out half the universe, they just they did a different thing. But it's that whole thing about the genocide thing. What they did was they killed off all the weak members, only left the strong members, and then went around destroying or enslaving every other society, which is insane. But it's their logic, and you know, Omni Man kind of becomes this father character, and he says some really messed up stuff. Like, I really liked him up till the finale. He says some really messed up stuff in the finale. Like, he refers to Invincible, who's the main character. He refers to his mom as a pet, which is
Certainly
kind of
odd.
messed up, and extremely messed up. Actually, kind of messed up, extremely messed up. And then he also beats his kid like really badly until like to kind of like explain how him and his kid have to work together to conquer this world, and then his Viltrumite boys will come, and they're gonna enslave the entire planet, and they're gonna make it better. They're gonna make it join the Viltrumite Empire. I guess that's kind of the way
I
the
mean, how
story
do
is
you build
going.
chemistry if you're out here beating your kid? And also, I think the violence in the show was a little bit too excessive, don't you think? Like, they certainly could have done without a few scenes, especially the squishing one with the train.
Yeah, the train scene, the squashing people's skulls. It was very gruesome for an animated show, I gotta say.
You don't show that to a 17-year-old kid, that's for sure,
Oh
right?
yeah, I mean, if it was live action, it would have been much worse. But I don't think
No,
you
I
kid.
mean like Mark, you know.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That was. I think that's gonna give him some PTSD. Well, obviously, we're talking about the scene where he holds Mark in front of a train and then watches the world's like the train squish around, like people getting like impacted by Mark, and Mark's indestructible more or less. And I will get to that in a minute, but he just shows how these humans are like insignificant. Anyways, Mark, he chooses a name Invincible, and this is a really really ill chosen name because the dude gets his ass beat every week. Like, legitimately, I don't know why he would name himself Invincible. He's in the hospital for half the series. Obviously, he's learning how to use his powers, but it's still kind of annoying to see. I what I wanted to see from this show was more father son chemistry at first, and then it would have meant more for the father and the son to have separated ways, in my opinion.
I agree. I think a lot of the nuance of Omni Man's redemption, if you could call it that, in the final episode was ruined because there just wasn't a lot of chemistry between the two, you know?
Yeah, at the end they kind of show it. Really, it was really abrupt, like a change between murderous Omni Man and dad Omni Man who feels like he's weak now and he leaves. And he also just it was weird because he just left. He just didn't like he didn't continue or he just walked away. Either join forces with your kid or like just keep doing what you're doing. But I don't know. I gotta say there are a couple other things about the series that weren't exactly for me. Was there was one that shout out to Long Beach Griffey. He made a video that I saw. It was about when Mark tells his girlfriend, I think her name is Amber, that he's invincible. And that video, he just calls out how stupid that whole scenario was when she already apparently knew, and she was still mad at him. Like he's a superhero. He has to do certain things, and he's been in the hospital so much. Like I don't understand how anyone could be angry at him for all that. He's like saving the universe, and she's mad that he didn't show up to the soup kitchen.
Yeah, I mean MJ had handled it better in Far From Home, right?
Yeah, way better.
Exactly. And honestly, one thing I want to see in season 2 is I want to see Mark stand up for himself a lot more.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Because this was a little too much from him to like just take it. He just took a lot from everyone around him. Obviously, Amber at the end kind of redeems herself as well. I don't know. This series it was very weird, but I'll still be around for season two. I don't think I'm going anywhere from this series.
There's also season
I,
3, right?
yeah, I think season three has also been renewed. I like the show and all, but I just think those are the very obviously I'm being very nitpicky with my critiques because it was held to such a high standard. The show was good for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, it looked great. The action was amazing, violence notwithstanding, of course, right?
Hmm. I do want to go through what was different about the comics to what was different about the show. There were a bunch of differences. Number one, I think this was kind of genius on the part of these people, the creators. They at the end of episode one, as we've already mentioned, Omni Man comes and kills the entire Justice League of this world. I think it's called Guardians of the Globe. Didn't really pay attention to the names too much, but that's the only reason I came back. I think that might have been the same for you. We came back to see the answers for that, and instead we got to see a whole bunch of this stuff. And I think we were talking earlier. You mentioned something about Mandalorian being similar.
Yeah, like a lot of reasons, or a lot of why we watched The Mandalorian in its early days was to find out who exactly was Baby Yoda, and we still don't have a lot of answers as to who exactly he was, other than he was in the Jedi Temple. But we realized that it wasn't so much about who Baby Yoda was; it was more about who he is in relation to the Mandalorian and what the relationship is. You know?
We kept coming back to see that reveal, but at the end we enjoyed what they gave us instead. And I feel like I really don't think what they gave us instead was that good. But I really did love the answers part. The answers part was very interesting to me.
Well, that's it for our review. Let us know what your theories and predictions are for season 2 in the comments, and let's get some conversation going. Until next time.